Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of November 24th. So this week on November 25th, 26th, we have Mercury stationing retrograde. Yes, it's our final Mercury retrograde of the year. And if you've listened to my videos before, you'll know that yes, Mercury retrograde is a time where we can feel a little mentally scattered. We may not be receiving all of the information. We may be experiencing or on the receiving end of miscommunications. Think of Mercury as our messenger planet, as our planet of communication and thought processes. And when it goes retrograde, it's going internal, it's going within, its energy is shifting into a more reflective state of being. So based on that, it is a power time for our intuition and for listening to our inner world. It is a time to go back, revisit the past, look over things once more, because there might be things there that we have missed that will come around the second time. Really trusting that intuitive voice rather than relying on our external voice or the external voices of the world around us. Really going with your inner voice and what that is, how that is speaking to you. That is our power when Mercury stations retrograde. I know we tend to think of it as an annoyance, and maybe with its timing at the end of the year and holidays, and you're trying to make plans and you're trying to travel and get gifts for people, and yeah, sure, it's maybe not the best energy, but really try to focus on your intuition. Life is always happening. The planets are always doing their thing. We got to try to work together, right? We got to work with what we're given. And so really listening to your intuition, really just trusting that intuitive voice, and slowing down, taking your time. You know, Mercury can be a little bit of trickster energy. And I think when we get flustered and stressed and, impatient, we're more likely to fall into that trickster energy. So just slowing down, being patient, not rushing, double checking things, just really giving yourself the space to breathe, to be. What is a little bit challenging with this particular retrograde is that maybe like a week or so later, on December 6th, Mars also stations retrograde. So for a good chunk of December, we have both Mercury and Mars retrograde together. Mars retrogrades the least out of all the planets, so it is definitely the most powerful retrograde we can experience. Mercury is with our mind, communication. Mars retrograde is with our energy levels and motivation. And whenever we're thinking retrograde, it is the key words that go with retrograde are revise, revisit, reflect, look back over the past. So with a Mars retrograde, we're really being guided to reflect, revisit, and recalibrate how we are choosing to spend our energy, what motivates us, what inspires us. All of that is up for review, for reharmonization. We may find ourselves feeling sluggish, feeling a lack of motivation, feeling like where we're putting our energy is maybe not where we want to be putting our energy anymore. That whole recalibration process is what Mars retrograde is about. Mars retrograde is going to run us all the way through into the new year, February. So it's a long standing energy. And then even after that, it's, in its shadow phase for quite a while. So it is a big dominating energy force as we move into the new year. And we have Mercury retrograde happening at the same time. Think of it this way: Mercury retrograde happens 3 to 4 times a year. We're used to it. This is a natural, normal cosmic cycle. Mars retrograde only happening every 2 years. Sure, it's a natural, normal cosmic cycle, but it's definitely rarer. And so we tend to feel it more strongly. So both of these retrogrades happening together. Honestly, if you needed an excuse to have a more low-key wrap up to 2024, if you were looking for an excuse to just take it easy and not put too much on your plate, this is the perfect excuse. Not that you ever need an excuse to keep it low key, but this energy definitely calls for us to slow down, don't take on too much, be really patient, give yourself a lot of space and time, and to just focus on what's really important, what you know to be really important. Really think about how you're choosing to spend your energy. Don't waste that energy, because we are recalibrating our attention and our direction and where we're moving, and it's big work. So giving yourself space to just keep it low key. All right, so that's our energy for the week ahead. That Mars retrograde doesn't happen until December 6th. Mercury retrograde is happening on the 25th, 26th. So we're kind of feeling them both already, but we don't really feel the intensity until Mars will go retrograde as well next month. Also, I'll talk more about this next week, but just so you know that it's coming on the 1st of December, we have the Sagittarius new moon. So as we get to the end of this week, we will be feeling that sense of new moon energy. Right before the new moon, we can tend to feel the need to withdraw, to go within, to sort of be in the darkness, if you will, of that birthplace before the new beginning happens. And actually, December, with all its retrograde energy, has two new moons. We have one at the start of the month and one at the end of the month. The second new moon of a calendar month is known as a black moon. So we really have this beautiful new beginning energy happening as well. So it's a little bit of this in our cosmic skies over the next couple of weeks. But start thinking about, it's a Sagittarius new moon, the one we have coming up on the 1st of December. Start thinking about, maybe some intentions. Sagittarius is represented by the arrow of the archer. So if we think of the symbolism of that, the archer takes aim, lines up its arrow, and then trusts in the wind, in the universe, and its knowledge that that arrow is going to land exactly where the archer wants it to go. And so this is a good time to put our intentions out to the universe, and to remember that just like the arrow, once you put them out there, they're free. They take on a life of their own. We trust that they will land where they need to land. So maybe thinking about what intentions, what mark do you want to hit before we wrap up the end of the year. I encourage ambition, but with the cosmic weather, don't put pressure on yourself to be too ambitious. Take it easy. All right. I am now going to pull a card. I'm going to shuffle them first, but I'm going to pull a card to kind of complement forecast for this week. This is from my deck, the Cosmic Astrology Oracle. I will have more of these decks for you next year. They're currently sold out. So bear with me on that. And don't forget, your moon calendars are still available on the Etsy store. If you want one, please get it soon, because my Etsy store will be closing in December. I'm going to be traveling for the holidays, so that's why it's closing in December. I'm also pregnant and didn't really want to put too much on my plate. I'm following my own astrology advice with Mars and Mercury being retrograde. So if you'd like a calendar, please get it, because I am closing my Etsy store probably by December 15th, 16th. Right before I leave. So please get onto that. All right. Let me pull a card to complement the energies of the week. Oh, Andromeda. Actually, I should say Andromeda. I always pronounce it wrong. Okay. Freedom. And it's written there, freedom. Okay. Andromeda. I don't know. I think it's Andromeda. Okay. Andromeda is the constellation of the chained woman. In mythology, she was chained as I'm reading from the booklet, by the way. She was chained as a sacrifice to a sea monster, but was later rescued and found full freedom. Andromeda represents the process we go through of breaking the chains that bind us so we can find our own freedom. You have drawn this card for perhaps something is tying you down, holding you back, or keeping you prisoner. Alternatively, the situation you are asking about can lead to this feeling if you don't take measures to avoid it. Be mindful about what you choose to commit to, We just talked about that. And the type of agreements you are making. If you are feeling held back in any way, this card is a positive sign that freedom can be found. You may have to take courageous action, but the universe is on your side. Break free of your fears, anxieties, and the things that are holding you back. Support what makes you feel free to lead the life you desire. I think that right there is, in essence, what our Mars, how we can channel the energy of a Mars retrograde, that we can really break free of our fears and allow ourselves to put our energy, put our intention into the life that we desire. If you're feeling weighed down by responsibilities, this card is also a signal to delegate, set boundaries, and ask for help. Yes, because as I mentioned, with this sluggishness coming in from Mars and Mercury retrograde, we want that support system. I feel like this card really urging for freedom is a little bit and sort of breaking free of these boundaries is a little bit kind of the result that we're going to feel, and maybe what we should hold close to us with this retrograde, with the wrapping up of the end of the year, with the 2 new moons that we have coming up in December. Really letting go of the things that bound and restrict us, and allowing ourselves to embrace how we want to be, how we want to spend our energy, how we want to direct the course of our lives, how we want to make our mark on the world. I have some little additional meanings. So additional meanings of this card: don't try to do everything yourself. Break free from ideas, thoughts, feelings, and people that hold you down. Do something that makes you feel free. Consider any contracts carefully. That's always a good advice in a Mercury retrograde. Boost your self-esteem and self-worth. Andromeda may be your true star home. Okay, so that is our card for the week. Hopefully there was something in there that connected with you, that jived with you. Don't forget did I talk about the moon calendars? Moon calendar, also available on Etsy. And I'll see you all next week. I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.